Good morning. Troy Grooms reporting live and direct. What's up, everybody? Yes. Good morning, good Monday morning. Just want to get on here and just say, man, it's a beautiful morning. You know what I'm saying? So your boy just, having a good cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying? Granddad making some good breakfast in there. You know what I'm saying? My granddad is so awesome. I just want to say, you know what I'm saying? Thank you to my new subscribers and thank you to my YouTube family, my TikTok family, my Facebook family, my Instagram family. I haven't started my Twitter back again yet, but I will be starting Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday, man, I just want to reflect on my Sunday, man. You know what I'm saying? So as I'm here in Memphis, I do have two sets of family here. I have not only do I have my grandfather, but I have my mother's side of the family here, which is like my great uncle. We have one great uncle left. My grandmother's brother has a family here, and so his daughters and his son and grandkids and great grandkids. But I have a cousin who was a bishop. You know what I'm saying? So he's 5 years younger than me, but he grew up in the church. His mother and his father were pastors. His father is an apostle, and they are members of his church, and it's called World Faith Church in Galloway, Tennessee. So yesterday I got a chance to go and hear him preach for the first time and be in his church for the first time. And so it was so amazing and so awesome, and God just confirming things and just confirming his word, you know what I'm saying, in my life and in the lives of others, and for the world. And man, this is an exciting time to be alive. This is an exciting time to be free. This is an exciting time to walk in truth, walk in favor, walk in good health and wealth minded. And man, I'm talking about yesterday. I was so compelled that I joined the church and immediately got into the spirit of servanthood. And so I want to, touch bases on being a servant, being someone who is compelled to serve in our communities, in our families, in our churches, even on our jobs. You know what I'm saying? Committing to the service level in a person's life means that it's beyond a paycheck. It's beyond a notice, trying to get, you don't do things because people are watching you. You do things because you feel compelled to do it. And so, see, I got my Total Image shirt on, so I am still walking in the expos and things of that nature that I created several years ago. I created the Total Image Beauty Barber and Trade show in Las Vegas. I had a huge show at a very nice hotel casino. So my service to the world will be what the world needs, and that's our images recreated and our images uplifted and our images, I'm saying, as servants, to the world. If you're going to create anything, let it be something that you're creating that the world needs. The world needs you. The world needs your voice. The world needs your talents and your gifts. And so with that, being in the mindset of servanthood, what I'm saying, it's beyond money. It's way more valuable than, personal recognition. If you can provide a service to people, if you can serve people, and money will come. You know what I'm saying? I am declaring and decreeing millions and millions of dollars to billions and billions of dollars in opportunities to build the kingdom, to provide housing for people, to provide clothing and food and shelter for people, but also to creating, employment and opportunities to, hire people, do great things, where, through Total Image, my goal is to have expos and trade shows, not only for barbering and hairstyling, but for content creators and influencers and people to come together and people to be inspired by one another. So I have some awesome plans for the future. I'm working on things daily. I'm praying daily, asking God for what components to bring to events. What do people really want during events? How to do something so unique and so creative that no one is really doing, or even going to all the different trade shows and just being inspired by some of the things that they've created. Man, it's a lot that is happening. So I'm going to be here and back in Atlanta. So I'll be back and forth because what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie cities together. I'm going to tie states together, bringing people from all over the world together. You know what I'm saying? I got so many great downloaded ideas that I believe that are inspiring And I believe that God is divinely putting them in me and allowing my mind to be at a place of the highest creativity, you know what I'm saying, to serve the world, to bring platforms to different places that don't have them. A lot of events go to major cities, but what about the smaller cities? What about the towns that don't have events such as expos and trade shows that people will have to drive all the way out of state or fly to a certain city? We have to create something to go to them. So that's one of the things that I'm going to do that is going to allow me to be able to go to different cities and go to different states to be able to create, you know what I'm saying, people, you know, the image, you know, rebranding people, giving people ideas on how to do their finances or get grant money or bring, you know, people that are into the crypto world and people that are into Bitcoin and things of that nature, the stock market, to the shows. So that's one of the things that too I want to, you know, touch bases on in the future, because I am a student. You know, my mentor is actually a YouTuber, influencer. His name is Channing Harrell, and it's Channing. And Channing Harrell is a huge man. He's an innovator. He's a inspiration to me. And I met him one morning months ago. You know, he was my Lyft driver one morning, ended up on my side of town and took me to work one morning, man. And we've been tight since then, man. I've sat at the table with him, and he's, you know, someone who inspires me into the investing part of technology, digital ledger technology, digital ledger networks, blockchain, these things that most people aren't aware of with the digital payments and all the things that's happening in the world right now, with world banking and you know, I'm telling you, it's an amazing change that's coming to the world. And you know, people have no idea some of the things that are happening. And so my goal is to, you know, enlighten people and pass on the information so we can be prepared for the things that are happening in the future. You know what I'm saying? Not to be afraid of the things that are happening in the future, because guess what? We have to come up with the times, because the world is changing. And so that's my service. That's why I am in the mindset to serve, you know, in the new church that I'm going to be, you know, serving in. My cousin is so amazing. I want to help him. I want to help build his ministry and be a part of the body of Christ on a level in this future time, you know, serving the community, serving the world, you know what I'm saying? And so Bishop David Gillard is his name, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's World Faith Church, and it's in Galloway, Tennessee, which is a town outside of Memphis. But for the most part, you know, I'm learning about the South. You know, God got me here in the South. You know, I'm here serving my grandfather, you know, making sure, you know what I'm saying, that he's well, and, you know, giving him a little company too. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't bother me. I bother him a little bit because I love to talk about the family history. I want to know a lot of things about his childhood. You know, he picked cotton. He did things, and he ended up in Chicago when he was 19. His grandfather sent for him and his entire family. And so a family is so important. So I'm praying for families, praying for my family, that people will get to know their grandparents and things of that nature. Young people don't really have the time, or people in general just don't know where they came from. And so I am so blessed and so fortunate to find out where I came from and where my father came from, where my mother came from. Since I've been here, I sat with my cousins over the weekend, my older cousins, and they told me stuff about my family that I had no idea. They told me stuff about my great grandfather that I never met. They told me stuff about my great grandmother that I had the opportunity to meet when I was a teenager, and how she was, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. She lived with us in Chicago for a little while before she died, but she was well in age. She was in her 90s, if I'm not mistaken. That was my grandmother's mother, you know. So, man, when I tell you there's so much richness in history, even in the African American community, in all communities, all races, all backgrounds, I would encourage anyone, if you have elderly grandparents or people that are great grandmothers and great uncles and cousins and people that are up in age, in their like 70s and 80s, get to know them, because let me tell you, they will enrich your life with history. They will enrich your life with nuggets and things of that nature. You know, my last video I was talking about granddaddy's nuggets. You know what I'm saying? Sitting at the table with your hat on, or take your hat off, coming in the building. You know, sitting at the dinner table. A lot of people sitting at the table. Kids do it. A lot of men do it and don't realize that, you know, it's old custom and things of that nature, out of respect, you know what I'm saying, for the dinner table, for the house, to take your hat off. You know what I'm saying? You know, I normally got videos with a hat on when I'm outside and stuff like that. I love hats, but you know I'm bald too, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I love hats. I love cowboy hats. I love fitted caps, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. This is just style for me. But I also, you know what I'm saying, got a big head too, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's all good though. But I just wanted to get on here this morning and say thank you. I'm almost at 100 subscribers. Hit the like button, share, you know what I'm saying? You know, help me, you know what I'm saying, be an inspiration. I would love to, you know, meet some of you all, invite some of you all to the expos and things of that nature, and some of the mixer ideas I'm going to be having in Atlanta and in Memphis and Chicago, you know what I'm saying, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be doing some great things, you know what I'm saying, with Total Image. You know what I'm saying? Go to my YouTube channel. I'm not the YouTube channel. I'm talking about my Instagram. It's Groom You Media ATL. And in Troy Grooms, I have an old Instagram. I don't know if anybody know how to get your old email and stuff back, but I want to try to get my old email and my old password and stuff from my old Instagram, because I got some dope stuff that I did in Las Vegas in 2022, and a lot of my haircuts and stuff like that. A lot of people probably wonder why I don't show a lot of haircuts and things of that nature. You know, I feel like as a barber, I got some videos. I got a couple shorts on videos, and I have a lot of, you know what I'm saying, creative things besides cutting hair, behind you know, beyond the chair. You know what I'm saying? I am not just a barber, but I'm a creator of a couple other things. I love to bake. I love birthday cakes. I actually love cake decorating. So I follow those things, and I'm also a follower of a lot of people that are into the wealth transfer, people who are dropping nuggets on CEO mindsets and how to build your business and make it greater than what you think you got. You know, it may seem small. The Bible says, despise not the day of small beginnings. That's why even as a YouTuber, it's not a rush to build it. I am not a rush in 2 months to get 5,000 subscribers and stuff like that, because really I believe in the power of God, and I believe that He is going to use me to be creative enough to build, you know, my YouTube and social media platforms, you know, for the glory of God. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of us, we have a lot to say. A lot of us, we have a lot to share. And even coming from, you know, the LGBTQ background, like, there's a lot of concerns. There's a lot of spiritual concerns. There are a lot of needs. But I'm also learning that if you're going to be a Christian, if you're going to believe God, you know, God gives us a new mindset. I'm not saying that I'm bashing anyone that's gay or LGBTQ, but there is a lot of false information. There's a lot of false narratives. There's a lot of, you know what I'm saying, hype behind being, you know, in a certain lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of spiritual principles and things of that nature. And one of the things that I don't want to do and ever want to become is a person who walk in error. You know what I'm saying? And so my service will be, you know, bring in topics and things of that nature, not to argue with people, not to go back and forth with people, because people in this time are very sensitive, and you cannot tell people how to live their life and what they need to be doing. People got to find the truth out on their own, and God forbid, you know, bad things to happen to people, or people, you know, end up in situations that they didn't, you know, they didn't think that they would end up in it because of a lifestyle choice. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that I'm you know, working on myself, is knowing the truth about who I am. You know what I'm saying? So connecting with family, and just knowing some of the things that are generational, you know, generational curses and things that have plagued our families. You know what I'm saying? We can break those curses so our children and our children's children and nieces and nephews and cousins and people are aware of the things that, you know, we can be doing, because the Bible even says that, you know, not only what a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, but also too, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, that there's a way that seems right unto a man, but at the end thereof are the ways of death. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we can be thinking we doing the right thing, and we can be doing it the wrong way, and it can bring harm to us, and we don't even realize it. We can be opening doors to our lives and our soul that we don't even realize. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, meditating and thinking this morning. I'm out here on the back porch. Granddaddy got this nice little fenced in and screened in back porch. It's like a little living room setting. So, you know what I'm saying? This is nice. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother used to sit in this chair. This was her spot. You know what I'm saying? The TV over there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I normally be watching like the news or watching the Food Network or something like that. I love the Food Network. I do follow a lot of food people. I follow a lot of healthy juicers and people that give you education through YouTube. YouTube is the bomb. And I'm so grateful that I'm a YouTube influencer. I'm so grateful that I have a channel. I'm so grateful that I'm plugged. I watch YouTube before I watch TV, the news and all of that. I stopped following a lot of entertainment subscribers because of the negative press, the talking about the puffy cases and everything about our government and all those negative things that instill fear. So be careful with what you allow yourself to watch and what yourself to hear, because all news ain't good news. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times God is saying, stop watching that mess, because guess what? What it does, it clogs our minds, it clogs our thoughts. So if you see something disastrous on TV and then you later on thinking about it, that blocks the opportunity for great other things to be downloaded in your mind that's positive. It's enough gun violence, it's enough killings in cities and stuff. So those will prompt you to pray, so instead of thinking about it, because those things will depress us. So this morning, my service, what you call it, a public service announcement is to serve. Be a servant, be a good servant. Pattern your life after someone in your family that was like my granddad, here and there cooking breakfast and stuff like that. I love to serve people. I love dinner. I love to cook. Eventually I want to do like a cooking video where it's not that I'm just cooking and talking about it, but I got a couple people around the table and we talking, and I'm serving it up, and it's a gourmet meal, or it could just be some chili or some spaghetti or something like that, and we just having a good time around the table, talking about life and talking about the things that once had us bound, or our family's background, just good topics, organic stuff, what I'm saying, not necessarily being perfect. So as I'm creating videos, I'm learning how to just be myself, what I'm saying, without the studio setting, which those are some great, things that people have grown to. So eventually I want to have an aesthetic, a studio aesthetic and things of that nature. But right now, what I'm saying, I'm just being a real, person. I'm being a real influencer. I'm talking about real life. I'm talking about my life. What I'm saying, I want to know about your life. What I'm saying, inspire me, inspire somebody else. Let's inspire each other, because really, in actuality, in these times, people are so, caught up in the wrong things. What I'm saying, and that's what keep us bowed down and to the point of depression and oppression, and we eating ourselves to death, we drinking ourselves to death. What I'm saying, we doing all these things that are not healthy. So it destroys our image. What I'm saying. So that's why Total Image Beauty Barber and Trade Show Convention, what I'm saying, the expos and things of that nature is going to be coming. So like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for my new YouTubers. God bless y'all. Y'all have a great week. It's 4th of July coming up and stuff like that. Those are some of the things that I would like to talk about too. How do people feel now about Juneteenth and 4th of July? We've been programmed to celebrate 4th of July, independence, but Juneteenth was African American independence. So now you got that and you got 4th of July. So I think that the world now is kind of like divided against the two, what I'm saying? But really, in actuality, we should always be celebrating our independence. It's not necessarily about a day or a holiday. We should be in the mindset of saying, thank you, God, for allowing us to be free in a free world. We need to be praying for our government. We need to be lifting up our president. What I'm saying? We need to be lifting up our police officers and our local governments and things of that nature. There are a lot of laws being made. A lot of people really that are elected that shouldn't have been elected, because guess what? They're making decisions for us and our children for the future, and they're trying to do stuff it's irreversible. What I'm saying? So how could people who fought for our right to vote, and things of that nature, be telling us that if we do this, it's gonna stick forever and all this kind of stuff? So breaking the amendment and breaking the our rights to be able to vote when people have died and things of that nature. So it's a whole lot, But God is in control. Trust and believe. What I'm saying? That's where my faith lies. My faith does not lie in men or human beings, as much, because we can We can be easily influenced. We can be easily persuaded to do things because of popularity, money, fame, all that kind of stuff. You can see that happening right now in the entertainment industry. A lot of people are so big and got so much money that they have lost who they really, really are. People are good with faking. People are good with making it up. Yeah, they on TV and they're doing all of this, but they're glorifying themselves, money, and what they've done. You know what I'm saying? What they've built. And God ain't even in it no more. They started off in faith, but now it's like, pastors and preachers. I was looking at a video yesterday about Dr. Jamal Bryant in Atlanta and another pastor, what I'm saying, and things of that nature. We can't water down the gospel. We can't use our own intelligence to try to say, yeah, he that winneth souls is wise, and we can be creative, but the world and the church is two different things. You cannot bring the world into the church. And that, worldly music or rap music or stuff like that. No, that's like oil and water, that they don't mix. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things we got to be careful with doing. I'm praying for them. I'm praying for pastors and leaders and evangelists and prophets and people who have the power to influence, the power to influence, but God is the ultimate influencer. You know what I'm saying? So as we are creators in social media and on YouTube and all these different platforms, be careful how we influence people and what we let come out of our mouths. And it's so many things, y'all. Like, this is the reason why I'm a YouTuber. It's because, man, it's therapy. Me talking into this camera right now, looking at myself before I even post a video, I can see me. I can look in my own eyes. I can hear my own voice. I can see how my mannerisms are. I can see how my stature are. My stature, being slumped over, you know what I'm saying? But I got real confidence. My back is straight. My chin is, level. You know what I'm saying? I can look at myself in the face and I can be honest with me. And that's what I love, being honest with myself, you know what I'm saying? And also, too, God is watching us. So today, as you serve in your communities and in your families, be better than what you was yesterday. Treat your kids better. Treat your spouses better. Treat your neighbor better. Treat your coworker better. Treat yourself better. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just glad to just be able to do this. And thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Google. Thank you, technology. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to use AI and those things to our advantage to build our businesses, to word our proposals better, to do things better. Chat GPT and all those different things. Man, let me tell you, man, I got some ideas and I ran it through Chat GPT, and Chat GPT helped me understand. It gave me a better understanding on what I was doing and what I'm doing it for. And then it added more value to the whole business itself. You know what I'm saying? So, that's a service. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother service, Man, it's so dope. You know what I'm saying? What's getting ready to happen in the future. And I'm excited, and I hope that you're excited too. I hope I can make you excited, or, give you some of my energy. You know what I'm saying? This morning, this cup of, nice coffee. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't drink coffee, some tea, drink some water. You know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you, man, it's life. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be able to encourage anybody that watch these videos, man. So have a great day. Have a great week. Have a safe holiday. Man, it's just the beginning of the summer still. You know what I'm saying? So we only like a couple of, maybe like a week or so in the summer. You know what I'm saying? So I pray everybody's safe. You know what I'm saying? And just, enjoy your family. Enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? So blessings and peace. And thank you again for my new subscribers. Share and like. You know what I'm saying? Comment. You know what I'm saying? Let's engage with each other. YouTube is really, really something, too, that monitors our engagement. So I would love to hear from you. Say what's up to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say something to you back, you know what I'm saying? And so hopefully we'll be able to get a chance to meet up at one of these expos I'm going to be hosting. So keep me in your prayers, and your family is, in mind, and you yourself have a blessed day. Troy Grooms reporting live and direct. Groom You Media, ATL. Peace.